Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith. Today I am talking about All Men Are Trash by Gina Ranalli. This is from Madness Heart Press. There's their logo there. I really like this cover, nice and simple. All Men Are Trash, Gina Ranalli. I'm a big fan of Gina Ranalli's. I've been reading her since her novella, Mother Puncher, which is fantastic. In All Men Are Trash, how do I nutshell this? In the most basic way, the women of the world become fed up with men and go on a rampage, start attacking them, killing them, and that's the most nutty of nutshells. Shelly of nutshells? I don't know. The basic essence. But there's more to it than that. It's a little deeper than that, I think. I'm not, a deep thinker. And I don't go into super analysis. So, All Men Are Trash. We follow a number of different characters, and we start with this guy who seems he's got that whole alpha male thing going on. We get a little bit of his backstory, how he basically worshipped his father and didn't care about his mother's opinion, and he drives a big truck, and he's your typical scummy alpha male. He rear ends a woman, and they pull off to the side of the road. They're exchanging their insurance information. Some other little things are going on. I don't need to get into all the details, but then the woman, just out of nowhere, just attacks him. She jumps in he's standing between his car and his truck and her car. She borrows his phone, jumps in her car, puts it in reverse, slams him in between his own truck and her car, and then she just takes off. That's where we start. So then we meet some other characters, another guy whose wife attacks him, and then we meet a lesbian couple, and they're noticing all these arguments and fights between men and women. Couples mainly, although at one point it's an employee and employer. And so let's see. And then there's another woman we meet, young woman, who works at a drugstore. Some shit goes down. She smashes her boss's head with a champagne bottle. She takes off, and we're going to follow her. So these are the main people we're following. So we jump from person to person. We get I don't remember people's names. Bram, like as in Bram or Bram Stoker, however you say that name, Bram. He's the first guy we meet, this alpha male, and so we're going to see him in the hospital after he's been smashed between two vehicles, and we're going to follow what's going on with him. And then the other gentleman, I want to say, is Mike. No. Nikki is the young woman that works at the drugstore, so we're going to follow her. What happens after she smashes her boss's head with the champagne bottle? She goes out. She decides she's going to hide out at a friend's house, and we follow what goes on with them. I'm going to take a quick look. What is the other gentleman's name? Mark. See, I thought it was Mike, but it's Mark. He's a guy, he's just sitting in bed with his wife. He's trying to read some Tom Clancy, and an argument happens, and she attacks him. He ends up in the hospital, and we're going to follow him and what happens. And then, let's see, just going to go. So we have Ariana and Jacqueline. They're our couple, and they're meeting for lunch, I believe it is. They're meeting for a meal, for some coffee, and there's a male-female couple in a booth behind them or near them, and they go crazy. So we follow Ariana and Jacqueline around, and as they're noticing all this weird stuff, and eventually all this is going to come together as things start to escalate. Now, excuse me, this could just be, or could have just been, a book about women getting completely fed up with men and going nuts, attacking them, trying to take over the planet, whatever. But there seems to be more going on, because while it does seem, whatever is happening does seem to have the most effect on women, it does also seem to have an effect on some men. Maybe it's just me. There are, like, Mark doesn't seem like a bad guy, but there are points where he sort of snaps himself, and I don't know if it's an effect of whatever's happening, or if it's supposed to show that deep down even decent men harbor these horrible thoughts. My reading of it is that whatever's affecting everybody has all the women, except it doesn't seem to be all the women, is also can have an effect on men. I'm not sure. And again, I say it doesn't seem to be all the women because Ariana and Jacqueline, for the most part, don't seem to be affected. But sometimes it seems like maybe they're being affected by whatever is going on. And there's a lot of talk about, obviously, gender equality, gender politics. There are a lot of reasons for women to be angry, but this goes above and beyond. It's the simplest thing is making women snap. I guess that's I don't know the best way to put it. But it's whatever it is that's going on doesn't have the same effect on everybody. It doesn't have the same effect on all women. It seems like it might be affecting men in some way. Not really sure. I mean, this could just be a straightforward book and I'm putting too much into it. I don't know. But no matter what, it's fun. It's well written. It's got great characters. It's a great story. It's like I said, I'm a big fan of Gina Ranalli, and I highly recommend it. It's an interesting book. You can read it just as a straightforward sort of something's making women do this, and here's all this crazy murder, horror stuff as women revolt against men. You can maybe look at it, see it a little deeper. Something is manipulating things. Something is causing things to happen. I suppose. I don't know. I haven't actually spoken to Gina Ranalli and asked her what the intention was, what things might mean. Maybe I'll get to ask her someday. I have met her. She's a very, very nice woman. Met her at a convention. And but yeah, it's a well-written book, wonderful characters, entertaining story. It's the type of book you could just read for the surface level. It may make you stop and think about, again, gender politics and gender inequality, because that's all in here. But it's not beating you in the face with it. I didn't feel that it was. So, yeah, I'm not sure what else, again, that I can say. I don't want to give away everything that happens. As I said, we're going to follow these characters in their each separate stories until they all sort of converge. And, again, things do get worse and worse progressively. progressively worse throughout the story, and it's entertaining. I mean, you could compare it to, I suppose, a zombie novel. I hate to make that, or zombie story. I hate to make that comparison, simply for the progression of the story beats. I think is why I'm making that comparison. If you were just to hopefully clarify what I'm trying to say, I may be making it more muddled. I don't know. Just pick it up and read it. It's great. It's a fantastic book. I haven't rated it on Goodreads yet. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. It took me about a day to read, and I just haven't been on Goodreads to give it my rating yet. But so you're the first to know. 5 out of 5 for All Men Are Trash by Gina Ranalli from Madness Heart Press. Highly recommended. Pick it up, read it, enjoy it. All right, so if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That was a lot. Yeah, that's it, I guess. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.